It's Friday, and good morning. Thank you for joining us here on another edition of Litter Media Live. Back in studio, I'm Dan Ramey, next to the icon, Mike Smith.
Yes, sir.
The indeed Micon.
Micon.
That has yet to catch on with his wife and daughter.
Yeah, it'll sink in here after a bit.
What is it? A prophet's never welcome in his own home.
That's what Jesus said.
You know,
in his own hometown. Yeah.
So even the folks in Frankfurt probably are like, "What's this Micon stuff?"
Yeah.
You're just Mike Smith.
I try to stay out of the spotlight in Frankfurt as much as possible.
He used to leave in the dark and sometimes get home in the dark,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So people wouldn't know the difference. Welcome to the program. It is Friday, and we're jumping into the first full weekend. I guess, no, technically it would be the second full weekend of July, isn't it?
Correct. Last week was the first.
July 1st was a Saturday. Yeah. So, but at any rate, we are right here. It's been a weird week, and I apologize. I was out a couple of days, as you made mention, on the program, and I went.
You were coming back in the dark.
Yeah, I slept an hour during a 39-hour period, I think it was, something like that. So, but I hope you enjoyed the video. It was well worth it.
Now, if I'd done that, Aunt Ruth would have been all over me. You can't do that, Mike.
Turn the lights off over there, mister. Go to bed. Coming up in a moment, we'll take a look at news, things that are going on across the Scioto Valley as we jump into this weekend, and a look at sports, this date in history. We have two for you today. One sports-related, and the other is military. Yes. And also, we will take a look at a radio moment. We have no clue as to what it's going to be, but we'll come up with something before this program is done. But first, let's start with the weather.
Yeah, some much-needed rain yesterday afternoon throughout much of the area. I think you said you had about a half an inch down home.
A little over a half inch, yeah.
For the rest of the day, we're looking at sunny skies with a high of 83, clouds on Saturday, and rain on Sunday. So rain coming back into the picture by Sunday. I think I heard something about... Well, and you can see it right now. See the wind direction? Mm-hmm. It's coming out of the north, heading south. Now, in recent weeks, when that's happened, that spelled trouble because of the Canadian fire smoke.
Right.
But I'm not hearing any talk about that this time.
Nor am I.
So that's a good thing. But I don't think that the fires are out yet.
We like clear skies.
Yeah.
We certainly do. And you're going to like clear skies here, too, pretty soon.
Yeah, I'll be working remotely next week. Last year, when I was down in the Sunshine State, we put together a story with some pictures, Fort Myers Beach, after the hurricane had gone through there. Don't know that we're going to head down in there this time.
You might as well. Yeah, I mean,
well, I'm going to go in the opposite direction this time.
Well, yeah, but you're going to have time in your hands, right?
Well, yeah, so. But I'm not probably the ones driving. My wife and daughter. My daughter's the co-pilot. My wife is the driver, and I just sit back there and shut up.
How did we budget for them to go on this trip?
So I mean, actually, they're the ones making all the money. I'm not. That's right. I'm just kind of cruising here.
Mike's in that twilight of his life. So, all right, coming up in a moment, we'll take a look at what's making news as we jump into the weekend. But first, Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Give them a call, 740-253-8389. If you have a cleanup job you're working on yourself, maybe it's your office, maybe your business or your home, wherever the case may be, and you have need for a dumpster, these are the folks to call. 740-253-8389 for Scioto Valley Dumpsters. News next.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Time to take a look at what is making news across the Scioto Valley on our website, littermedia.com. Where are you going?
We've been talking the last few days about beach weather, and there's some beach weather here right in our backyard. Join Pickaway County Visitors Bureau for a day of summer fun at Deer Creek State Park Beach this coming Sunday evening from 5 to 8 p.m. This is part of the musical Sunday series. I think they call it Second Sundays in Pickaway County. They did that, I think, started that last year, continuing this year. The event will feature music, food, various activities suitable for all ages, including a brand new playground. Acoustic Horizon will provide beachy sounds starting at 6 p.m. Guests are encouraged to bring a chair or a beach blanket.
Beachy sounds?
Beachy sounds.
Beachy sounds.
An ODNR naturalist will also be on site to host a reptile demonstration from 5 to 6 p.m. I just hope it doesn't get loose in the sand. You'll see all those beach chairs parting way, yeah. Enjoy that Sunday night over at Deer Creek. Staying in Pickaway County, Community Action will host a block party on July the 20th.
The count just saw the reptile.
From 11 to 2 on the 20th. Various activities will be held during that event at 469 East Ohio Street in Circleville.
This is a lot of fun. I went up here a couple of times, and they have a touch a truck event, and it's really cool. A chance for the kids to get up close in person with fire engines, police cars. They had cranes there that day from construction, all kinds of stuff.
I can tell you one person that will not be there.
You.
Well, a friend of ours, I won't mention any names, is terrified of clowns.
Oh, really? I see.
Yeah, so that would scare him off, just seeing that, yeah. Are you into pressure? Canning, canning vegetables.
I was when I was
fruits,
a kid.
Things like that?
Only because I lived at Mom and Dad's house.
And that was a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I didn't know this, but pressure canner testing for accuracy is available through the Ross County OSU Extension Office on July the 8th.
Oh, you knew this.
And again, July the 26th. If you use a dial gauge canner, it should be brought in once per year to be calibrated.
Mama Bartley used to come in and talk about this on the radio.
Is that right? I must have been sleeping.
You even did the interviews.
I must have been sleeping during that time. But there's some other dates, as you see there. One was already passed us, but 2 more coming up on the 8th and 26th of July.
That's tomorrow, so you better get there early.
That's correct. Yeah, at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Right. Lancaster, we told you about this on Wednesday, but wanted to remind you, Lancaster and Fairfield County residents are being asked to join the Battle of the Badges. Who needs stinking badges? Blood Drive campaign. Lancaster City employees are hosting the Blood Drive July the 11th, that's next Tuesday, at 121 East Chestnut Street, Suite 100. The Battle of the Badges campaign is a friendly competition to determine whether fire or police departments in the area can recruit the most people to give blood at any of their designated areas. Make your appointment at redcrossblood.org and use the sponsor code Lancaster City Employees. I guess this is one time that you can have a friendly competition where blood is coming out.
And you hope it's not spilled. So
yeah, that's true.
I did get a message from the Red Cross about my blood donation from last month, and part of it was sent to Florida and another to Sylvania, Ohio, to help out.
Oh, is that right? Okay. I thought you were going to tell me that it was testing. They were testing it for some strange morphing that was going on. You're going to be Spider-Man.
When you give blood, and what happens is they will notify you as to where your donation went to.
I don't ever remember having that when I used to give blood.
Well, you need to give blood again.
Well, if I can. I'm on so much medication, I don't know if they can take it anymore. Boogie Bike Night will be held between 4 p.m. and midnight at the BPO Elks Lodge number 52. That's located at 42 West 2nd Street here in Chillicothe.
And they have a new outdoor deck. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
No,
it's right along 2nd Street there.
Yeah. Mike Boyle, famous guy. Greg Higley, famous, will perform between 6 p.m. and midnight. Proceeds.
No. 6 to noon is the band. That's Puma Reveals Band, 6 to noon.
Okay, I'm just giving these two guys' name. I didn't recognize it. Well, where do you see Puma?
I know Puma. His band is called 6 to noon.
And who's Puma?
Puma Reveal.
You got me. Yeah, I'm totally lost. I only know Mike Boyle and Greg Higley.
Puma is he's a guitarist, singer, and his band is called 6 to noon.
Oh. Puma, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize what you were. Yeah. I know Mike Boyle and Greg Higley. They're famous.
He's not a what, he's a who.
I even know Mike and Greg, but Puma, I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you somehow when I get back. Proceeds benefit the Adena Cancer Center, Ross County Honor Guard, and the Elks Veterans Christmas Dinner.
Mike's been in the newsroom too long.
Yeah. I'm not under the entertainment circuit much. The Ross County Humane Society will benefit from the Bark in the Park Car Show, September the 2nd at the Pump House Center for the Arts. That, of course, in Yoctangi Park in Chillicothe. That'll be between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. that day. I think you said you have a special edition coming up on this?
Yeah, Jen Thomas is coming in before too long to talk about this. I imagine we might have Johnny Garage Johnson as well because he's a part of this. But hopefully we'll have them in within the next week or so. And again, the week of this event, Bark in the Park, which is going to be Labor Day weekend.
So does this take the place of the car show they had in Central Center, or is it in addition to?
Well, they didn't have the car show in Central Center this year, and they only had one for the last several years, I think. But this has been a constant thing they've had for, I can't remember how many years they've been doing this. It seems like maybe 10, something like that on Labor Day weekend.
Gotcha.
Don't forget some other things going on this weekend. You've got Cinderella, which took the stage last night and will continue through the weekend at Chillicothe High School. Ohio's Jeep Fest is out at the Ross County Fairgrounds. That opens today. I have a Jeep. I don't know if I'm going to put it through the...
You got to throw a lot of mud on it.
There's a lot of riggers
they don't even
they
want
go
you.
through. This is all at the Ross County Fairgrounds. Don't forget also up in Circleville, if you didn't get enough fireworks this week, they're booming in Circleville at the AmVets, and if you've never been to the AmVets there, when you get to Tarleton Road, south side of Circleville, when you're going up 23, turn right, and as you go over the overpass that goes over the railroad tracks, you'll see this large jet, a fighter jet sitting out there. That's where this all takes place. And don't forget the Weegians will be in concert tomorrow at the American Legion, Post 62, right there on Main Street.
I think this picture was taken right across the street from the Legion there.
I think that's because Melody, who sits there right in the bonnet, she is a member of the Calvary Lutheran Church.
Yes.
So
very good. So a lot of things to do this weekend. And a road report in Jackson County. A resurfacing project is underway on US 35 between Kane Road and Chillicothe Pike. At least one lane of traffic will be maintained in each direction on 35 for the duration of the construction. Additional traffic impacts will include shoulder closures and narrow travel lanes, and they say this project will run through this fall. And that is a look at your topics for today.
Still to come, we'll take a look at sports and this date in history. We turn the clock back to 1980 and also 1993.
Actually, 1976.
Was it 76?
Yeah, 76. There was something that would subsequently happen in 1980.
Yes, the completion of the program.
Yes, exactly.
In 1980. Okay. So, just when I thought I had it all figured out, I did not. All right, that's just ahead in just a moment, so stick close for that. Our friends at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor, encourage you to check your filters and make sure you do all that stuff, and check in with them whenever you've got an issue for heating, cooling, or plumbing. I don't think heating's a problem right now. Cooling might be, so give them a call. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com, and it'll take you right to their website where you can learn more about the services of Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
And remember, open interviews at Chillicothe, Circleville, Greenfield, and Waverly every Wednesday, 2 to 5. It is time for sports, and it's not often that we have someone local who's doing something elsewhere in the world. Mm-hmm. He's already been to Poland this summer, and now he's going to be wrestling in Chile, Santiago, Chile. Mm-hmm. And this is footage provided to us by John Halley, the Sporting Pumpkin. This is the state championship match, and this is Cam McDaniel from Taze Valley. As you can see, he worked to get a point there, and now in just a moment you're going to see everything go crazy. This was a great moment for him because he had finished runner-up the 2 previous years. Here he wins the state championship. There is Dad, who is the strength coach for the wrestling team, and Coach Nace there as well, and he is one happy dude. I was looking through Twitter feed, and he also is involved with Beast Mode Wrestling, and they put together this video as well. It's pretty impactful. But as I was watching this, I thought, this kid's from Asheville.
Yeah.
An Asheville native, and he's going through all this stuff. He's already taken the national stage. He had a national championship, which qualified him to go wrestle in Poland. And if he won in Poland, he was going to go to Chile. Mm-hmm. And it is chilly down there right now because he's south of the equator, right, and it's wintertime down in Chile. So I did an interview with him back in May. The project is not complete yet, and hopefully we'll have that for you in the next couple of weeks here. But congratulations to Cam, and we hope for good things to happen for this guy. And his dad posted a picture here. They arrived in Chile yesterday, and these are his singlets for the wrestling matches. I believe he has to wrestle 5 times to get to the championship match.
Did you notice what that GPA was?
Yeah.
4.27 something. Mm-hmm. So this kid's not only a great wrestler,
ain't no dummy.
He's good in the books and the classroom, and we wish him well.
And a really good kid too. Everybody I've talked to about Cam has had nothing but good stuff to say about him.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah.
Going to the baseball diamond. Of course, we told you earlier in the week the Paints won the first half division title in the Ohio River Valley, which guarantees them a playoff spot. But starting out the second half of the season, they're 0-2. They lost last night by a score of 6-3, but remember, they're already guaranteed a playoff spot.
But they've got the wrong string going here. It's a 3-game losing streak right now.
Well, maybe they're resting some players since they
that could be
wrapped it up in the first half.
Yeah.
Talk about somebody that's on a hot streak. How about those Cincinnati Reds? They swept the Nationals in the nation's capital, 4 games there. A thriller yesterday in 10 innings, 5-4 the final. Nick Senzel made a great catch to save the game in the bottom of the 9th, and then the first pitch up in the top of the 10th, he hits a 2-run homer. Remember, I keep forgetting they start out with that runner on second base because I'm thinking, wait a minute, he just led off. Oh yeah, you got to go on base. But Reds now very, very big weekend series in Milwaukee against second place Milwaukee Brewers, who are 2 games back of Cincinnati heading into that 3-game series.
And it's so fun to watch these guys because it's somebody different every day that it seems to be stepping up.
Yeah, and one other note on that. So if the Reds win just 1 out of the 3 games, they'll still have a game lead going into the All-Star break. If they win 2 out of the 3, they'd be 3 games up, and heaven forbid if they would win the series 3. they'd be 5 up. But if you lose 3 in a row, then they're going to be a game behind going in to the All-Star break.
And I can't remember if they start up with the Brewers to start the second
In Cincinnati.
half.
That is
That's
correct.
right, okay.
So they're playing them basically 6 times in a row, but there's going to be like 4 days off in between. Wow. The Guardians got back on the winning track last night. They were a winner against Kansas City 6-1 after losing a series against a very tough Atlanta Braves ball club.
Now, we've got a This Date in History coming up that is the regular portion of the programming, but since we're talking sports, we want to go back to this date in 1993 when Tom Browning appeared not in the game, but outside the ballpark at Wrigley Field.
This was funny. It's almost like, I think I was watching that game, and when the camera spotted him, it's like, that can't be who I think it is. It's somebody dressed up like Tom Browning. No, it was Tom Browning.
It was Tom Browning, yeah.
But you'll see Davy Johnson wasn't real happy with him.
He wasn't. Now, there's more to the story, and I'll share that with you now. At a Cincinnati Reds radio affiliate gathering, this would have been, I think, the 2000 season. They had this down in Kentucky, and so Bill Forthover and I had gone down that particular day. Well, Bill was back I had gone to get an interview, I think it was, at one portion, and there was this hallway between where the dinner was being held and then where the other interview was going on. And as I was making my way in the hallway, I was the only one in this hallway, and then Tom Browning comes walking in. And he introduces himself to me, and this was the first time I had a chance to meet Tom. And I said, if you don't mind, while you got a moment, tell me about the experience at Wrigley Field. So he takes time to share with me that how this all happened. He knew he wasn't pitching that day, and so he talked to one of the security guards about how do you get over to one of the, so he said, well, here's what we'll do. So he puts on this trench coat over his uniform, puts on a hat and disguise, walks out of the stadium, and the security guard lets him out, and he's going to let him back in as well. So he goes across the street, goes through the building, and climbs up there with them and takes off the trench coat, and there he is. It's like Spider-Man appears, you know, that kind of deal. And he said that Davey was so upset with him that this had happened. When he got back the next day, he was calling into Davey's office. He said, I'm sitting across the desk from Davey, and there was nothing he could do to me, because I wasn't pitching that day. But because of all the attention you brought to blah, 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 he says, I got to punish you, and you're going to write a $5,000 check to one of my wife's favorite charities. And that was his fine, $5,000.
Oh, I thought it said $500 on that tweet.
I'm pretty sure it was $5,000. So
because I was going to say $500, that was nothing.
Oh yeah, that's not going to stop you from doing anything. But even $5,000 didn't stop him from doing it. So let me just double check. I want to go back to it just to make sure. And 1, 2, 3 zeros. Yep, $5,000. Are you seeing 3 or 2?
That's 500, Dan.
That's just,
you got to remember Dan's Taze Valley math, folks.
Well, plus we're looking at this from 10 feet away.
Yeah. Well, if Tom said it was
Tom
5,000,
told me it was 5,000.
Of course, that may be like a fishing story. It got bigger
It could
as time
be.
went on. Yeah.
And maybe there's something with Major League Baseball where they couldn't say it was $5,000, and it has to be a $500 in their eyes.
Yeah.
So the way I remember the story being told to me personally by Tom Browning was $5,000.
Don't go fishing with Dan Ramey or Tom Browning. Tom, whenever he was in Chillicothe a lot on the Reds Caravan, and he was notorious for loving cozy burgers. Mm-hmm. And they always would try to order some for him when he came in.
Well, and that was a Jim Day idea, not the radio network Jim Day. This was our Jim Day. And when we heard that Tom was going to be on the tour, he said, you know what you ought to do? You ought to call the Cozy and see if you can get some Cozy burgers made. And Mary White back then was involved with the restaurant, and he had struck up a relationship with Mary and the Cozy and how all that happened was the Reds used to, before they had their public caravan, they would go to Columbus the night before, have their event, stop here in Chillicothe at the old Holiday Inn, and then they would go on to West Virginia, down to Huntington the next day. And Tom was not one to stay in
Where
the
he's supposed to
hotel.
be, yeah.
So they went running the town. Took some buddies with him, I guess, and they went to the Cozy Inn. Fell in love with it. And so that's how that all started. Yeah. And then Jim Day planted that seed in my brain and said, okay, let's go ahead and do that. So Tom came back twice for the radio caravan. So we had burgers from the Cozy Inn both times. And the last time, you and I didn't get a hamburger.
Yeah, because we were doing a show, yeah.
Because we were doing the show, but after the show, Tom grabbed the rest of the burgers in a bag and took them on the bus with him.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
God rest his soul. We lost Tom last year, and it was earlier this year.
Yeah.
But within the last year, we lost Tom Browning. But great moments, moments.
So Tom Browning and Dusty Baker, probably two notorious Chillicothe visits, yeah.
Precisely. Now, people are wondering about the other one. Maybe we can use that as our radio moment.
Well, we told that story here about 3 weeks ago, didn't we?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah,
we've lived it a lot.
Aunt Ruth's saying, okay, I've heard that story before.
So basically what Mike is saying is go back and look through our YouTube channel for our daily visits here on Litter Media Live. All right, coming up in just a moment, this date in history, we go back to
1976.
All right, details next.
Budweiser beer, the king is second to none.
Who drinks Budweiser? You know the type. The people who grind. Those who don't back down. And the ones who don't quit. They say all people are 6 degrees of separation away from each other. But some are just a six-pack away. The people who share the same spirit, share the same beer. This Bud's for you.
At Rathkamp Financial, we believe in building client relationships for the long term, guiding you through the stages of wealth with a plan and bringing you closer to reaching your financial dreams. We believe in long-term relationships and working to earn your continued trust with our customized investment solutions.
You haven't had vodka soda like this. No one has. Made with the world's smoothest vodka plus real juice. New White Claw Vodka Soda.
All right, time to put a wrap on the show, and we do that with this date in history.
Yeah. On this date in 1976, for the first time in history, women are enrolled into the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York. Now, on May 28th of 1980, 62 of these female cadets graduated and were commissioned as second lieutenants. U.S. Military Academy, the first school in America to dedicate itself to the military, was founded by Congress in 1802 for the purpose of educating and training young men in the theory and practice of military science. Established at West Point, New York, the U.S. Military Academy is often simply known as West Point. But the ladies come in to play at West Point, so to speak, on this date in 1976.
There were 119 in that original class, and only 62 graduated. I was doing a little extra research on this, and one of the persons in a story about the anniversary, she said from day one, the women said they knew it wouldn't be easy. Said those days were exciting, confusing, and challenging. Along with the pressure of converting from civilian to military life, the women in particular faced numerous setbacks, bizarre predicaments, and battled embarrassment and disrespect. The female-specific uniforms alone caused controversy. A wardrobe malfunction on the first day caused several broken zippers. The pants had no pockets, which forced the women to carry personal items in unusual places. And unlike their male counterparts, their jackets didn't have tails. that would have attracted too much attention to their backsides, they said. So, interesting article that was placed on the U.S. Army's website, written by Kelly Schlosser, maybe? This was 2010. I was reading through there, and I got to thinking about the number of gals who have gone through the program, and ladies, women, who have gone through the program. One of them is a Chillicothe kid, Jennifer Cave.
Jennifer, yeah.
And she not only made it through West Point, but she now is a JAG officer. And last I saw, she was moving, I think, from Houston out to L.A., something like that. But I believe she's still in the military. Had the chance to play volleyball in the military as well. So, and I don't think she still plays, but I think just up into the last 4 years she was still playing with them.
I had a chance to interview her while I was still at the radio station. I think it was because she was going to be inducted into the CHS Hall of Fame, and it was a prelude to that. And we talked a lot about the worldwide travel that she was able to do, being on that Army volleyball team.
Yeah. Now, this is a personal note. She was the first person I nominated for the Hall of Fame. And I told her, I said, when I found this opportunity, you were the first person I thought of. And because so many greats are in the CHS Hall of Fame, but she's one that stood out in my mind. That Bill Dennis said at one point in time, if she would have come out for football, she'd have been on the team.
Oh, she was an athlete. Yeah, all around
Certainly
athlete.
was.
And her dad, Jim, was down at the YMCA for many, many years and was always wearing something West Virginia on it. So, he loved his Mountaineers.
Never held that against him.
No.
Not at all. So congratulations to all the West Point graduates and this next class.
Yeah.
I think there's 180,000 in 2010. There were 180,000 women serving in just the Army.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
So, and I don't know how many men are in.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that.
But a good bit. I know when Dan Jr. was in the Air Force, a good number of women were in the Air Force serving with him at the same time too. So, do we want to just say the radio moment that we had was the Tom Browning moment? Or do you have something else?
I had a dream last night.
Uh-oh.
I had a dream. I frequently, over the years, have dreams about radio. And it's not necessarily anything about the station that we work for, but it's about this thing. The recurring dream that I have is that I'm late for a broadcast. And I'm running around, scurrying, trying to get to the location, or after you're at the location, you're scurrying, trying to get, and everything, the game goes on without you. And in real life, I was always there 2 hours ahead of time, because if something goes wrong, and 95% of the time it didn't, but those 5% of the times that a phone line doesn't work or a piece of equipment doesn't work, you got to have time to try to get it up and going. So that is a recurring dream that I have about radio, is I'm late for getting to a ball game to broadcast.
Missy said that one night I just sat up in bed and started doing play-by-play.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for that one.
I don't remember any of it, but she said you just stood up, you sat right up in bed and just started saying somebody had the ball and they were going to go.
So this was not a play-by-play Meatloaf, Love by the Dashboard Light type thing.
This was an actual game play-by-play call.
Oh golly, wow.
Yeah, that like I said, I'm taking her word for it. I don't remember any of it. There's one dream that I had when I was working in Columbus at Sunny 95, because we had a stand-up operation. We did have a kind of like a bar stool that you could sit on, but mostly it was stand-up. So you're standing there and you had full range of motion. You could go over and behind me were the cartridges with all the songs on them and all the commercials. And then when you turn around from selecting, you've got this stack of tapes and you set it right there. You would, let's see, on this side we had the music machines. Over here we had the commercial machines. So you would load those things so that you're ready for your commercial block, and then you would have your songs ready to go over here. Well, this dream that I had, I'm on the stool and I can't reach anything. And it's like I've got alligator arms. I can't get to anything. And I'm on this stool and I'm spinning around and I'm going, ah! And the reason is because there's nothing on the air. And Al Fetch was the general manager at Sunny 95. And he appeared in this dream. He's got the door open. Back then, my name was Dan Mitchell on air. He's got the door open. He's going, Mitch has dead air. Mitch has dead air. Dead air. And I'm like, I can't do it. I've had that dream several times.
Well, I had that, only it was in real life.
Oh, really?
It was my third night on the air at WIBO Radio in Waverly.
Yeah.
Steve Norman and Gary Pfeiffer. You remember Gary?
Yeah.
Two characters of all characters.
True cut-ups.
When I got into the studio and sat down to start the show, there was a record playing because the guy before me, which was Steve, had a song playing.
Tell me they didn't take all the records.
They took every record out of the studio. I had nothing to play. I think they took every PSA card, every commercial card out of the studio. And there I was. And to this day, that was in 1979. I can't remember what I did to finally, I think they just took pity on me and finally brought back the records. So
it's that moment where you black out because you messed your pants. You know, that's probably
like, oh, golly, I'm going to get fired here.
Had to replace the chair and everything.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a nightmare that was actually something that happened.
Wow.
Yeah. Took it all.
No, nobody ever did that to me. I did have the guy who's behind Red, White, and Boom. He would come into the studio sometimes, and this day in particular, he would try and make faces at you to mess you up while you're talking. I am standing there doing my segment, and he's on the other side of the easel, and he just turns around and he's got this Playboy centerfold that he's holding up in front of me, and he's starting to, get a little out of hand with some of it. And I just motored right through like nothing was going on. And I went into the commercial, and he says, "Wow, you're a pro."
Either that or you've seen this issue before.
Yeah, I've seen that already.
Oh, golly. Wow.
The radio moments. This is why you stick through the program, so that you can see these moments right here.
Yeah.
All right. You're out next week. We'll be sending us information for this show. So while you are enjoying the beach, we'll carry the load of the program here and welcome you back the week after.
Oh, I can send you pictures or video.
Don't send me any pictures like what Earl was showing that day.
Yeah, don't do that. No.
If you're doing that, you'll probably lose your job.
That's right.
All right, that's it for the program. Thank you so much for watching today. And again, you can always find this program on our YouTube channel later in the day. And
don't excuse me. He's getting choked up because I'm going to be gone for a week.
No, I just lost my ability to breathe. So you can always find us on YouTube. You may see us die on YouTube as well. That won't be the case because basically I'm the only one that puts things up on the YouTube, and you wouldn't see it. But at any rate, make sure you join us again Monday for another edition of Litter Media Live. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.